Okay, I guess everybody's ready. Call the meeting to order. And Charlie, would you lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The minutes of the March 20 Commissioners meeting and the public hearing have been distributed. I entertain a motion to approve them.
I'll make the motion.
Charlie?
I'll second it.
Mike Malone, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Treasurer's report, Bill Dwyer.
Okay, first we'll do the codes. That's the one page. The bottom of the front page says no vouchers this month for code. Got it? Top of the page, the assets, turn it over, shows you the checking and savings accounts for codes. Not much change since last month. Okay, the district report, we have 4 credit card vouchers, 1 overtime, no codes, and 47 district vouchers. The front page shows you the assets as of March 31st, and the bottom shows us what we owe as of today. Page 2 and 3 is the budget versus the actual. Four and 5 is the previous year comparison. Six and 7 are the bank account pages. Page 8 lists our permissive referendums, and there's not been any change there since last month. Page 9, the top of page 9 is the our liabilities, principal and interest. Our next interest payment will be in June. And at the bottom, to save a piece of paper, I stuck the service award for this year. Didn't need much space. And we did make 13,000 since last month. And 10, 11, and 12 are tonight's vouchers. When you look at tonight's vouchers, the bill for the fuel on the apparatus is billed quarterly now, instead of monthly. I renewed the QuickBooks program it's for a year now. It used to be for 3 years, now it's every year. They want you to buy this, the cloud stuff, but I stayed with not the cloud. I kept what I'm used to using. So that bill is in there. Also the bill from Rotech Business Services did a remote in to work on the paychecks versus the QuickBooks entries. That bill is in there. And Diane wins the bank statements. And that's all I have.
No, Kit's doing bank statements.
What?
It's Kit. Diane was last one.
Oh, did they switch?
Yeah, it's Kate.
Oh,
On my schedule, it's Kate.
okay.
You must, Diane was right above her, so.
All right.
I have it read.
Oh, okay, no, yes, you are right. Okay, the kit wins.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to give Diane more work.
Any questions for Bill? We have a motion to approve the vouchers as presented and audited. Jura,
Second.
Malone, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Charlie?
I'll second.
Malone, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And we don't have any finished permissive referendums to close out, I don't think. And I will be auditing the bank statements this month. Okay. Amy, correspondence.
Central Region Fire Districts Association, the next meeting is Monday, April 24th at Lakeside Fire District. It's a varied program with discussions about current legislative action, fraud, and ways our information and dollars are being stolen, fit for duty, and upcoming state association amendment. Let Kit or myself know any commissioners or officers that are interested in going. There's also a training at Stittville Fire District on May 6th, and that is going to be Stay in Your Lane, a cooperative program for chiefs, districts, FASNY, coordinators. We're also going to talk about financial controls for districts and departments and just general issues and problems discussion. Again, let Kit know if that's something you're interested in. That's going to be financial controls. Charlie the priest has completed his required commissioner training, and we got a letter from Aqua about just a report for 2022, ongoing effort to provide reliable water service, and an offer for on-site training that I've passed on to the chief. I think we're working to reschedule that training at some point. And that's all I have for correspondence.
Okay, chief's reports. Chief Root.
Communications, the bulk chargers are in, they're installed in the station watch rooms. We're waiting credit for the 4 vehicle chargers that did not come in. They're not sure that they were going to be able to get them at all. So then we're also looking for a quote on the new radio batteries. We still haven't received that yet. SOG 03-017, the revision proposal was submitted to the commissioners on 4/5 for review. At Beretta, second chief's vehicle is expected to be in June. Special events, the Recruit New York Open House to be held on April 22nd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Lysander Town Hall. Truck 2 is going to be there out of service for the duration of the event. Stations, scheduling appointments for contractors to come gather information, provide quotes for shower for addition to station 10. That's it.
Any questions for Chief Root? Chief Corcoran.
Only thing I have to report is this evening is I got a request from some of the EMS folks that we had some of our medications that were coming up on expiration. One of my EMTs from Station 2 did a very nice job of putting together kind of a spreadsheet of all of our EMS supplies that have expiration dates, and submitting that to me so I could get a good picture of what we have out there that has an expiration date. I've asked one of my EMTs from Station 1 to kind of do a similar audit of all of our supplies that can or will expire, so I'll have that. That'll give us a little better opportunity to forecast and plan ahead and order things before they actually come up on expiration. So a couple of my EMTs been putting, a couple of our EMTs have been putting some effort into that, which has been very much appreciated. So working on that, I've gotten together with the chief on a list of things that we need to order that are expiring or have expired, so we can get that taken care of. And then, like I say, I'll be able to forecast a little better going down the road and get things ordered before the expiration date gets too close. So, other than that, nothing unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions for Chief Corcoran?
You know.
Thank you. Chief Speech is not here. Did he send a report?
He did not. You want another report?
Committee reports, building and facilities. Station 2 roof again.
Still the same.
Huh?
Still the same.
Still there.
Yeah.
Okay. New truck committee.
The rescue pumpers, also still the same. They won't start building it until probably September or October.
Lysander Public Safety, the next meeting is tomorrow night. Location is now Belgium Cold Spring Station 1 here. We will be discussing the open house recruitment and retention on Saturday at the Lysander Town Hall. Katie, our president, has been working tirelessly on that program. And we're hoping for a good turnout with the participating fire departments and districts as well as public. I think tomorrow night at Lysander Public Safety, we'll be talking more about the logistics and exactly who will be doing what and where. Budget and Finance, there's no report. IT Committee, Diane.
I have the Power DMS renewal is coming due. I'd like to make a motion for up to $3,200 to cover the costs for renewal of that Power DMS.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Shura seconds the motion. Any discussion? I would just say that I was skeptical when we first were approached with Power DMS, but I think it's a pretty good platform, a good place for all of our information to be, and I'm impressed that it has worked out as well as it has.
Yeah, I agree with you, Captain.
Further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Personnel, I would report that the firefighter EMT part-time position has been posted on the website. We'll be receiving applications and move forward with interviews and such. Truck maintenance.
We're looking into the feasibility of repairing or not repairing the generator on engine 21. We have one estimate so far, and it's quite high for the value of the vehicle. So we're going to try to look to see if there's another alternative. Any other vehicle problems? just a reminder, if you see Luke around or something like that while he's working, don't be afraid to mention it to him, and he'll get it to the right people to have it looked at, repaired, whatever.
So what are the other options on the generator on 21?
I said we're looking into other options. We've got to look into them. We've got one estimate right now.
Okay.
Mark?
Got a question regarding equipment, specifically 21. Being as that is our first due piece out for 80s at nighttime, safety of your members and everything else, we have no lights or anything. What would you like us to do? When we're on a scene of an 80, we're the first ones there. Sometimes we don't get a rescue out if we don't have the personnel showing up. 21's, the only thing we're there with lights, we don't have lights.
Do you have portable lights on that rig?
But I should be able to flip the switch and go. But it's been 2 months, and to get the portable lights out, I gotta take the generator out, put that off to the side, and fire that thing up.
Do you know when this was reported?
What marks that?
2 months ago is when we had this, and going mutual aid, or if we're gonna be doing drafting or anything like that, the safety of your members who are on that truck should be a priority to get lights on that truck running. Either put the LEDs in, I understand the cost of the new generator, the expense of it and all that, but to transfer everything from the halogen lights that we currently have to the LEDs, I would think that would take a priority, being for the safety of your members who are out there in the middle of these streets trying to do their job. And just to have the portable little lights that we have, those are good on ground level, but when you got 21s that are sitting up high and light up a lot more, it's a lot better visibility than the little portable lights that we had. And that's not just my concern, but I believe I would speak for everybody out of Station 2. So in the middle of the night, what would you like us to do with 21 being our first piece out for an 80?
I don't set your running card, but you might want to run that by the chief. Check your station chief.
Well, it's not just check with the chief. You guys are in charge of the maintenance of these vehicles in 2 months, and chief can report it to you guys, but it needs to be addressed instead of just waiting for these quotes and everything else. Take it to and have these lights switched over like we did with Rescue 2. Rescue 2, we took out the generator because of the cost. They switched them over to the LED lights, toggle switch, worked fantastic. That was a quick, easy fix. That could be the same thing done with 21. Take it in. I would think that would be up here prioritized-wise as equipment to get fixed.
Right now, looking at it, is the top priority.
Well, 2 months, that's a while, and to get the LED lights on it, I would think that would be something that our mechanic would be able to convert easily.
I'll
But-
have Luke look into it.
Have who?
Luke,
Unfortunately, you don't have the resources anymore of the past caretaker that you had with the contacts and everything else. And being your new caretaker, he's in the learning stages. And yes, the chief is working with him and everything else, but this is something that safety-wise should be right up there.
I think when we had those lights switched over on Rescue 1, that was done outside.
2, Rescue 2.
Rescue 2 we did.
Yeah, Rescue 1
Rescue one's still
Rescue
there.
1 has not been switched over.
Okay, sorry, Rescue 2. Okay.
And it didn't take them long because all they did was converted the lights, took them off, put on the LEDs, ran wires to our main panel box, and hooked it up to the 12 volt, and we just flipped 4 toggle switches and no draw, no nothing, and they work great, they're bright and everything else. That was a good fix. But that's all I have on equipment wise. Oh, on another one, truck 2. Still waiting for little minor repairs such as the interior light in the officer's seat. I know it's a an ongoing issue with that bearing sound noise, which I think is something to do with the motor. Cummings looked at before, but we have like this, almost sounds like a water pump or some type of bearing or something like that going in it. And we always get the smell of radiator smell when we drive it. And the tank on the ladder still leaks for the CO, or our fresh air tank, air bottle on the side of the ladder. That still leaks. That hasn't been fixed yet.
I don't know.
Yeah, truck two.
Oh, truck two.
Truck two.
Oh, what's that?
That's been documented before to get that fixed. And then we also had in 21, we talked about in the past about putting LED headlights, upgrading the headlights in 21. Because they're old, they're dull, and compare them to the newer generation that we've been getting lately with the truck and the engine or ladder. Big difference with the LEDs. But other than that, that's the only thing that I can come up with on truck maintenance wise, just to pass on.
Building maintenance?
I'll talk on that. We had a issue with the switch, the light switch on the walk-in cooler, and showed it to Luke, offered help, that I would help him change it if he needed help, and he went ahead and did it himself. He had no issues with it. So as Mark said, he is in the learning process, and you know, he told me what he did and how he did it, and so he's coming along.
Steering committee.
Steering committee met on April 8th. Bear with me 1 second, please. We had 8 people in attendance. They were myself, Diane Rafkis, Chief Root, Mike Rasmus, Vince Kearney, Terry Ludwig, Herb Curtis, and Katie Pedalino. We recapped the previous meeting's topics, emphasized that the meeting's purpose and when we discuss things is to mutually respect each other. Discussion was had about after the meetings to send emails out. Those that were in attendance will get an email. So the purpose of the committees is members that see and hear the reports from this meeting, the business meeting. If they're interested in finding out what was discussed, they could talk to those that were there. Those that are interested in attending one of these meetings, please contact Kit. We're starting to get more and more people to step up with interest. And that's gone very well. Kit will let you know if you're invited to the next one. It didn't sound right. She'll let every invitee know who's coming to the next meeting, which usually follows is on the Saturday following the business meeting. The transition of caretaker's duties from Jerry to Luke has gone well. This is a continual learning process for Luke, as Jerry had 20 years of knowledge working here. So please bear with Luke as he progresses in gaining some of that knowledge. The bulletin boards and the stations are being updated. Please take a look at them for current events, training, department or district information. Also discussed were exceptions that may have been granted to certain people within the department. Concerns over the bylaws were brought up. I believe the bylaws committee is starting to look into some of those. There was an encouragement for drills to not always be hands-on, some lecture, and please consider the older generation of our department that not everything has to be 100% physical for 2 hours. Support members, they requested to be able to meet more, and we're wondering if they could meet amongst themselves to help support the department. And one suggestion was to have a little group with people to contact that the chiefs can contact for like a 1014. Discussion was about our fire response or EMS response to alarms. Our district is difficult, but our 2 stations are in good locations, but it doesn't help members to respond as quickly as possible. We understand that, but please keep responding. Department credit card for Chief Root was discussed. The president mentioned where the department card is kept and how to sign them out. That's pretty much it from the steering committee. Again, anybody interested in attending, please send Kit an email. That's it.
Okay. Fire prevention, Charlie. Do you have
So
any?
fire prevention, as the chief stated earlier, this Saturday is the Recruit New York over at the town hall. There will be some fire prevention, I'm sure, going on over there. Upcoming schools, April 28th is going to be McNamara, followed by May 1st is going to be Eldon. And that's it with fire prevention.
Old business, actually I see it on old business and new business, the revision to SOG 03017, personal vehicle response direct to the scene. And I would start out the discussion with my feeling that 6.4 is redundant, and I would suggest removal of 6.4.
I'm in agreement it is redundant. It's redundant with 6.1.2.
Any other comments?
So presenting this, you're okay with removing that?
With the, yeah,
And
with
the change for that?
removal of all 6.4.
So that's a motion. You made?
I guess, okay, I'll make the motion to approve it with the deletion of 6.4.
I just have one question before we
Sure.
go ahead with the motion. So on 6.1.2, the responding member shall use caution and not respond. So are they to use caution and respond, or is it just don't respond?
You use caution on those alarms by not responding to, I guess it's kind of worded a little bit funny. And I
Yeah.
can understand where there's some confusion. You got a better way to do it, I'd be happy to entertain
Okay.
it.
I just wanted to be clear that that's what that meant.
Well, that's the current policy that's not being changed.
Right.
So that was pretty,
That's
that's
what's
been there for a while.
Okay, thank you.
So I made the motion,
I'll second.
Chair seconds. Further discussion? All in favor?
We've got a question on the
I
floor.
got
Yep. What? Oh,
just under 6.4.2, under no circumstances shall a member respond directly to a structure type alarm. So 6.1.2 has nothing to do with structural alarms. It seems like EMT alarms only,
yep,
EMS cars only.
that's correct.
So to remove all that, and then it also 6.4.3, the member shall respond to their assigned fire station for these alarms. So 6.4.2 is no redundance to the EMS end of it, because one's fire, one's an EMS.
Yeah, no, not redundant. Only 6.4.1 is redundant. 6.4.2 and 2 and 3 are not.
Yeah, 4.1 is EMS calls, and then 6.4.2 is fire structural alarms. Where everything under 6.1 is all related to EMS.
And I guess I have a question. Why do you not want the person going direct to scene to notify fire control in some way, shape, or form that they are going direct to scene, since oftentimes that doesn't show up in bricks? And for safety purposes, you want somebody to know they're en route to the scene in case there's something else that happens when they get there. It would seem that there should be some sort of notification to fire control that they're going to the scene. Some way they need to be notifying, whether it's by a radio or by phone. You're talking about safety of your members. If they arrive and somebody comes bolting out and goes after them, you want somebody to know that they're going. And it may not show up in the brick system. You've got an awful lot riding on that. You don't want to have a line of duty death or an injury from line of duty injuries. Seems like that's a bit short-sighted to take that out and could result in some serious legal ramifications.
Well, what's our pleasure? Do you want to take it back to the drawing board? Do you want to make adjustments?
If that's the only thing that's holding this up, if you want to leave, or amend it again and leave that up, it's up to the person that may respond.
I'd also like to see something on there where you've got members respond direct to scene shall wear appropriate PPE. I think everybody needs to respond to have identifiers on them. They need some sort of gear, clothing, whatever, that identifies them as a representative of the department, number one, and number two, some sort of personal protection for themselves against bodily fluids, etc.
Well, that is covered in 5.1.2 and 5.2.1.
It just says
It just says appropriate, wear PPE appropriate for medical emergencies, example, gloves, goggles, etc.
doesn't identify him as a member of the department. And that's worthwhile.
For like an EMS call, you're saying?
Yes.
They should have something on that says they're part of the department.
Part of being an EMT is you're required to state who you are. That's your identification.
You can carry your badge and show it to them, like you had your Niagara Mohawk person that comes in, or National Grid person comes in, and they're required to show you a badge? Is that what you're gonna show them?
Your
So they know
EMT
for
does
sure
not
you're an
require you
EMT?
to carry a badge.
You should.
Talk to the state, please.
I'm not gonna talk to the state, I'm just suggesting, you're looking at something that people could be hurt. You're talking about the safety of the members and identifying us properly who we are, who they are. And if they're going direct to scene, they need to be identifiable.
I think at this point, shall we table this? Chief, are you agreeable to table this until the
I
next
would
one?
like to table it and talk to, people that have other points to put in. I sent this out early enough, I was hoping to get some feedback, but
Can
this
I-
is the first I have, so I'd like to hear from more.
Yeah, I'd just like to add one more thing for you for notes. Your motor vehicle accidents, you crossed everything off. And I get it where you don't want us to stop, but I have come across a couple accidents, one right by my neighborhood. And if I see somebody in the middle of the road and a bystander doing CPR on them, I'm stopping.
And I'll give you a medal.
Absolutely,
You're right.
because I've done it a couple
It's a
times.
guideline.
Okay.
And I think that's where my problem is. Under no circumstances You know, I mean, that's pretty cut and dry, under no circumstances.
I mean, there's
So if
gotta
you
be a
stop
little bit of
because, you know,
Yep, that's why the guidelines, so we'll freshen it up and
Yeah.
take your input.
Okay.
Mike,
Yeah, one time Chris got attacked, Evans, and we got yelled at by the state troopers because we were supposedly informed that the person was EPD or EDP, and we never got that. It was never relayed to us by fire control. And Chris thought he was getting stabbed by a patient. So I don't like the idea of EMTs going to scenes by themselves. I think they should have somebody with them in a fire truck.
The nice thing with the chiefs is they have that 50 button. They can push that if something's going southbound quick. They hit that 50 button, they're going to get help right away. Unfortunately for our EMTs that go, they would have to rely on their phone if anything goes bad. But luckily for the chiefs and the technology, the radios, that's an easy given for them.
I will withdraw my motion. Because it didn't get a second, right? We didn't go as far as getting a second.
No, because
Okay. And we'll table this for further study. Okay. And under new business, approval for alcohol for Carl Verzillo for hall use on May 20th. Have a motion? Jura, second by Malone. Discussion?
It's a family party, less than 20 people.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. I've added one thing to the agenda here. No, I guess it's on the agenda. It's just on my copy here.
Gave you a new one.
That the annual service awards report has been provided to the fire district. And that needs to be in our minutes that the service awards report has been provided. I have something that I wanted to bring up. It follows on our discussion from last month about hall usage. And I know that it was also discussed at the steering committee meeting. And I'm just throwing this out there as a suggestion that groups under 25 would be unlimited for members. Over 25 attendees, members limited to 2 per year per member or organization. It solves the parking issue. Smaller groups don't create the parking problem. The larger groups, we do have designated parking places to help the parking issues. But you know, I'm just wondering if this could be a step forward, and I'm just offering that for discussion.
what's the numbers again?
Huh?
What were your numbers?
I had 25.
So below 25 is
That's
what?
it's subjective. I mean, you know, if you wanted maybe 24, 26, I don't know, but.
You threw that out, can we think about it for a month?
What do you want to do?
I'd like to think about it for a month also, but I think that the 25 is a little bit too low. That you're talking about a parking situation, that there was a parking problem. And supposedly when the signs were placed on the building, that problem was taken care of. I know that all the times that we have met up here in the past, and we're the group that this whole thing is all about, the people that come to my meeting, they park on this side, they park right here. There's spots over there by the M vehicle entrance, 2 spots there, 1 spot by the dispatch, and then the entire front by the lounge area is open. People that come to my meeting come 2s and 3s in a vehicle. It's not 1 in a vehicle. I think that the main concern with the parking problem for us responders that are coming up here are during the election time. That's a prime problem right there. There is no parking up here for that. So that's something that, if you want to look at this limiting the number to, that's something that we ought to consider. So I don't think that the 25 is, it's a step in the right direction, but it's not far enough.
And how would you address the event for,
Anyone, Carl Brazillo.
Mr. Lesniak's party? His event that's happening. You're gonna tell at 25, you're gonna tell no one can come in? For Bill Massaro, for Tyler's reception, you're gonna tell them that, oh, no, you have to limit it to 25 people that can come to the wedding reception.
No, I don't, that was not my intention. My
The intention
intention was
instead is to go after just an organization.
the groups under 25 are unlimited for members. Over 25 attendees would be limited to 2 per year per member.
Why?
And that, Mark pointed out that in his family, he's got 4 members. Yeah, Mark, what did you?
The numbers, I see what you're doing now. You're saying this is for members. What about outside, like the Girl Scouts that use the hall or would like to use the hall? Groups like that.
Well, I think that's a member takes it out for the Girl Scouts. I don't
Okay.
think the Girl Scouts, because someone has to be.
Right, someone has to sign, will have to sit here.
And they're under
And
25.
they're certainly under 25, so it would resolve that.
No, that's not, you're talking just members only. I didn't know if you were expressing like outside groups like the Girl Scouts and everything else. But I got it now. One person has to be here as a member in order for the Girl Scouts to be here, which understandable. Okay.
Continues to be, you're limiting the use of a taxpayer-funded facility, as Mark pointed out last month. You're limiting the use of it. One of the few benefits that the membership has until you're dead. You look at all those member benefits, the only real benefit the members get is death benefits or medical benefits because there's an accident. Giving them eyeglasses, okay. Giving them a reimbursement for going to the gym, okay. But this being one of the few benefits the members have to use to be able to have events in here. The place is not used that much. The people are responsible for cleaning up afterwards. We usually have it cleaner than it was when we walk in. We've put tables away that have never been put away. We put chairs away. We mop the floors. We clean things that haven't been cleaned when we arrive. And you're basically limiting it, a taxpayer-owned building. Yes, you can say you manage the building on behalf of the taxpayers, but it's owned by the taxpayers. Remember that it's owned by the taxpayers. You're just a person who is managing it for your 5 years on the commission.
So do we want to move forward with this tonight? We want to table it? What's your pleasure?
My pleasure is to table it. I don't agree with the numbers of 25. I think that is, Barbara said that.
Well, I mean, I just, like I said, I just picked that number. Now, if someone likes 30 better, if somebody,
The most that we have on a busy night here is probably 40 people, okay? 40, 45 people. If we get 46 or 41, again, I'm sorry, but you can't come in. So I think that's it. The parking issue seems to have been resolved. Again, when we're here, I'm here already. so we could respond a little bit quicker to a potential call. Mike, you have a question?
And do the Girl Scouts have to pay to use the hall, or the Red Cross?
The Red Cross pays $50 to pay for the member to be here.
What about the Girl Scouts?
The Girl Scouts, it's a member that signs it out for the Girl Scouts.
So
So they're not paying for it because there's a member that's here.
if the member signs it out for the Girl Scouts, is that credit going against their usage?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Well, I don't think if it's Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, it shouldn't, the member shouldn't, it's in charge of the Girl Scouts, get penalized by using their 2 times and then turn around and they pay $250 for a birthday party?
Why is it limited just to 2 times a year for a member?
Just to go after Charlie and me.
The whole thing predicated on parking. That's where I'm coming from, parking.
I mean, being limited to just to 2 times a year for a member, that's quite drastic. How many times does a member use it and there's any problems?
Very few. There's been times when people have been parked funny when there's been a event on a Saturday for other members, but the woodworkers, we don't have that issue. I actually itemized every time we used it last year, and the amount of times we used it, we had so few times there was a call here, it was ridiculous. And we had 5 people maybe show up for the call. So that was nothing.
Okay, so Diane, you want a table or?
Yes, let's table it.
Table? Mike, table? Charlie, table?
Table it.
Table
Okay. Okay. All right, so do we have any other, did I get everything on the agenda, Amy? Because I'm working off my copy, not the latest copy. Okay. Any other business from the commissioners? We will be holding an executive session for G, I think, G. And so I'll entertain, oh, sorry, yeah, how about public comment?
Excellent, just
Yeah.
one more quick one. What is the status of utilizing M2 as a department vehicle going to training and everything else? Has that policy been updated, changed,
The policy that was,
procedures? Because before it was, M2 was strictly a station vehicle for EMS calls.
that was the.
And now we're able to use it for training, to take it to training and all that? Is that something new that's come around? Because,
It was in place of M3, which was
right, which has become, yes,
speeches card.
yep. Okay, so we are able to use that, because we got training coming up,
It's at training right now.
right, next month, because,
No, it's gone.
right, no, I'm just saying, is that the new, we can use it for taking it for training purposes?
Same thing, you'll ask permission.
Okay.
But that needs to go through you, correct?
Okay, okay, all right, I didn't know what the status was, because I know you guys had it where it was set up for EMS only within the district.
Well, there was a policy
So-
that was, they were supposed to start, they started
But-
revising in
okay.
February of '21. That hasn't been done yet.
I just wanted to get that, because we got an extrication class coming up, three days in a row, or a week. So I just wanted to verify what we could do, or, okay. Fair enough.
Okay, so I make the motion, we move to executive session for personnel discussion G. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're moving to executive session.